Welcome to Nutrition Equity. I'm your host, Joanna, and today's episode will delve into the critical topic of Medical Nutrition Equity Act, a pivotal bill that has yet to be passed currently. We're looking for a House Republican to reintroduce, but the bill has to do with providing medical foods, formula, and vitamins to those who need it. And I'm off the screen. Fix this. So this will be nationwide if it does pass. The bill's groundbreaking legislation aims to compel healthcare companies to cover portions of medical foods, formula, and vitamins. Nationwide, as I said, ensuring equitable access to essential nutrition support. Joining us today is a truly remarkable individual, Andrew Jablonski, the founder and executive director of the Short Bowel Syndrome Foundation support. The Short Bowel Syndrome Foundation Incorporated. Andrew is not only an advocate but also a patient, bringing a unique perspective to the discussion. He also served as a physician advisor for the MNEA pharmaceuticals and in the past Shire Pharmaceuticals. Together we'll uncover the ins and outs of the Medical Nutrition Equity Act, discussing potential impacts of healthcare, and gain insights from Andrew's wealth of experience in the field. So let's delve into and explore the path towards a more equitable, nutritionally sound healthcare system. Welcome to Nutrition Equity. So if you want to explain what short bowel syndrome is.
Okay, yeah. Hi, thanks for having me. Short bowel syndrome is a condition in which a person is born or diagnosed later on in life with missing half or more of their small intestine. And so that can come from a congenital defect at birth, such as like a volvulus, like I had, which is like a knot in your intestine that has to be undone, that cut off the blood supply. So that's what caused mine. I had 2 volvuluses in my intestine at birth, and they had to cut them out 4 inches of small intestine. So that's how I got short bowel syndrome. We'll get it through neck or through gastroesophagus, as some congenital defects, and then people get it through trauma as well. Some people get it through injuries. Some people get a car accident. Some people have an operation gone wrong, in which a surgeon will accidentally cut a person's intestine during a routine surgery. That can cause short bowel syndrome. So anywhere where you can have for your small bowel, just a shortcut.
So can you tell us about your story?
Yeah. I was born in 1986, so 37 years ago, in Columbia, Missouri. in the evening, and with every contraction my mom had, my heart would stop. So they had to do an emergency C-section. And when they took me out, I was not breathing, and they had to resuscitate me for about 10-15 minutes. And they sent me up to the ICU because the CT machine that they needed was broke. So about 2 o'clock in the morning, the surgeon came back and took me to the OR and opened me up, and all my intestine, except for a few inches, was black and necrotic. So it had to come out. And they called my parents. I'd have 24 hours, maybe less, and to make arrangements. And I survived the night. And, well, here I am still today, so I survived many nights. So that's how I got short gut syndrome. And it's been 37 years of sometimes being on TPN, sometimes not being on TPN. Sometimes there was feeding tubes, most of the time not. Every patient is different. My story will greatly differ from the next person. But in my case, I'm all in all, I've been very lucky. At the same time, I've had my challenges. As a 37-year-old adult, I do very well. But right now, I am on TPN because of a medical event I had back in February. But soon I'll be getting off it. So I live my life on and off of TPN. Also, I can eat by mouth. Most patients can eat by mouth, but some have restrictions, or some can't eat by mouth at all and just eat by TPN only. And so part of my, I run a support group through my foundation that for adults and families, and there's thousands of people in those groups, and everyone's very different. Everybody has a different case, different story. No one's completely alike, and but we're all there for the same purpose, same diagnosis, and to support each other. So that's what I've been doing the last 13 years. Why living with my condition is supporting people with my condition.
What inspired you to establish the Short Bowel Foundation?
13 years ago, I was working for my father, and I had invited a support group on Facebook. Facebook was fairly new, and it just came out. But I was invited to a support group that was mostly made up of mothers who were caring for their children with gut syndrome. Now these kids are all teenagers today. But at the time, they were like 3 to 4 year old kids, moms, who found out about me through an hospital. That's how I got out there in the first place. But they read up on me, and they found me on Facebook, invited me into their group. And, through communication with these mothers and them asking me questions, less opportunity, support resource or network to help people with short gut syndrome or struggling with things like short gut syndrome. And so with that knowledge, the knowledge that I have with short gut syndrome, I've been here at the 25 years, I figured that'd be enough to just be able to provide one-on-one support or group support. And so I started a 501c3 foundation, and I did the paperwork and submitted it and got it approved, and been doing that for the last 13 years, and all because people just wanted to know more about me and my story, and so I put my story out there. And I have a website that's very educational. Spent a lot of time on it. There's a lot of good stuff on there about short gut syndrome, what causes it, different treatments for it, different causes of it. So over the years, I've compiled lots of information onto a website and opened many support groups on Facebook and social media in general about living with short gut syndrome and what that's like. And people join every day, every week. There's a new member. So we've been doing that the last 11 years now on Facebook. But my foundation is primarily on social media and the internet. Very rare do I actually get to meet with the people I talk to online, but there are times where I have been fortunate enough to meet those people. That's been awesome.
So, is there a difference between, you said shortcut, is there a difference between shortcut and short bowel?
No, gut is just a short name for bowel.
Oh.
You got guts.
Yeah.
And it's considered a gut, I guess, for most people. At least in my.
So, what are your primary objectives, missions, with your foundation?
To support others with short gut syndrome and provide education and support.
Could you explain Could you explain the significance of managing short bowel syndrome and how it impacts your life and the lives of others with the condition?
Well, I can't say how it affects the lives of others, but I can say how mine.
Oh, right.
It varies day to day. Some days are great, some days are not so great. Some days I feel well, some days I don't. But mostly I feel good, and I have good days, and my days are like else's. I get up, I have a routine, and do that, and I'm active most of the day, and I come home and relax in the evening and go to bed and repeat the next day. Things about my day is I have to worry about eating a lot of calories, so I don't starve. I want to be on TPN, I got to be able to eat, so I'm working on eating and eating more of my mouth per se. Well, when you're on TPN, total parental nutrition, which is IV nutrition, sometimes it suppresses your appetite and you don't want to eat. So part of my routine right now is learning to eat again, like to eat again, and all I can get up to. So that's like one of the challenges of my day, I guess you could say, is eating right now. But little by little it gets better. And the goal is to get off the total parental nutrition to IV nutrition, because it can be harmful to your liver, but that's not for everybody's case. But it's not also the most best thing to be on, because it can be annoying. At least it can be for me. So I'm ready to be off it. But
yeah. So do you take a formula?
What?
Do you take a formula?
Do I take formula? No, I don't. When I was an infant, yes, I took formula, but not anything like we have today.
Right. Let's see.
I do know people that are on G2 feedings.
Yeah.
But it's very few that I know. Most people I know that need parental support are on TPN. There's some people I know that are on G2 feeds, but not many that anymore. Seems like the industry has switched to going back to TPN.
Could you share your thoughts? When you so when you eat, so now that you're eating off the tube, how is that working? Are you able to keep food down, or?
Oh yeah, I can keep food down. It's just getting the appetite back. I don't throw up food or anything. It's just being able to eat when I want to eat.
Yeah.
And it's getting better. I'm getting better at it. So yeah.
So back where we were, could you explain the significance of could you explain the significance of go away, all these notifications popping up now. Could you explain the significance? Oh, that was one more. The medical nutrition equity. Can you share your thoughts on why this legislation is essential and how it could benefit individuals with short bowel syndrome and the medical conditions repairing specialized nutrition?
Anything that is an advancement in medicine, or even if it's legislation, is beneficial to the condition because it improves things. So in this case, it's formula, correct?
Mm-hmm. Formula, food, vitamins. Medical foods, formulas, and vitamins.
Okay, so you have people with short bowel syndrome, they're on G2P, they're on TV. So apply to them. I'm not quite sure how. To be honest with you, I don't do a lot of legislation. But it would be beneficial to them because, we need the help too. We need, the support through legislation and the Congress and courts and all that too to make sure that we get the benefits that we need for our condition to get adequate treatment and support.
Can you share your thoughts on why the legislation is essential and how it can benefit? We went through that.
We just did that.
Yep. Okay. So what are some of the challenges individuals with short bowel syndrome face increasing necessary methods and necessary medical foods, formula vitamins, and how does it impact the overall quality of life?
Well, without getting proper vitamins or nutrients, then you're not going to be adequately nourished. So that affects how you're going to wake up in the morning. That's for sure. So getting vitamins, nutrition, all that's essential for short gut patients. But how I can't speak on how it would affect everybody in a generic term because every short gut case is very different. Mm-hmm. No one's the same. So what would work for one person would not work for another person. Mm-hmm. So I can't speak specifically as to what it would do specifically, but in generality, anything like that is great for advancement.
As a physician advisor, what role do you play in helping pharmaceutical companies develop treatments for conditions like short bowel syndrome? And how do you ensure the patient's perspective is considered?
Well, there's a lot of things that go into creating a drug, but I'm not the one that comes up with the concept of the drug anything else. My role is to see what the patients expect and what they would like to see out of this drug. So, for example, with Gattex, we worked at MPS, later Shire Pharmaceuticals. MPS wanted to know what the patients would expect out of a drug like Gattex. And so I went to social media and my support groups and posted questions about what people would think or expect a drug like this, specifically for short bowel syndrome, would do. What did they want to know from it? What were their concerns? What did they need to know the most about before they even attempt to inject it? They want to know, the downfalls, the benefits. They want to know how many times a day. Can it be taken once a day? Is it once a week, once a month? All these questions have to be answered. And so I kind of surveyed everybody and got their opinions about this new drug that was coming out, for all we knew. And they gave me their input, and I took it back to the boardroom at the pharmaceutical, and I was telling what the patient said, what the patients think. So that's how Gattex got their backing and support and all that, because I was able to give them the input from different patients with short bowel syndrome who would qualify for using Gattex. And now Gattex is used in both adults and pediatrics. And then with other novel therapies, it's kind of the same gig. Pharmaceuticals have questions that they want to ask the patients, but they can't ask the patients themselves because that goes against something with pharma. And so they need a conduit between the pharmaceutical and the patient, and that turn happens to be me sometimes. And so they'll ask me, a pharmaceutical, to ask patients, what would you expect from this or that? And then the patients will come back to me with their answer. They'll go back to the pharmaceutical, and it's a back and forth game. Mm-hmm. So my role is to communicate what the patient's needs are to pharmaceuticals, and also what the pharmaceutical needs are to the patient.
Would you share any success stories, for examples, or of examples of how improved access to medical nutrition it has positively affected patients with short bowel syndrome or similar conditions?
Yes, most definitely has benefited patients with short bowel syndrome or associated disease. Anything that's new is positive, so usually. So, like I said, I'm not huge on legislation or reading into that. I guess I don't pay much attention to it, but I do know patients who do, and they do, agree and think that it is beneficial for. I know some people in the shortcut world that's all they do is legislation. And great at it.
Yeah.
Not my cup of tea. I don't understand it.
You kind of have to, because this is kind of an advocacy thing. But that's the only way we're going to get anything done is through legislation. There's a lot.
I know some great people who get that done in my world. I'm just not the person that goes.
Yeah. Let's see. So, how can individuals, healthcare professionals, and the broader community support the Short Bowel Syndrome Foundation mission and advocacy efforts?
Well, just by doing what we're doing, and by continuing to provide new information and support when available, and keep the foundation involved, and keep its members involved and what's going on and what's new and what's current. That's the best way to help us. Otherwise, as a patient, I'm pretty involved in all the support groups and I know what's going on, so I'm pretty up with what's going on. But, and I am the foundation. It's just one person, it's just me. So I have my own insight into it, I guess, and we're let in by other people too, when different situations arise, or opportunities arise, I should say. So we're just out there, and we're known for different parents and people that have followed us for a long time. So that's how physicians know about us, is through their patients and their caregivers in us, and that's how we stay in the loop.
So you don't have any volunteers helping you out?
I have some online volunteers on Facebook to help me out in my support groups, but that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anyone that like works for me in town. No, it's just me. I'm proud of it.
Looking ahead, what are your hopes and goals for future for the future with short bowel syndrome treatment and care, both in terms of medical nutrition and broader healthcare access?
Big question. Well, in short, we're always looking for new opportunities for growth, for treatment, for care development. It happens every day. There's something new that comes out, or there's some change in some protocol that we have to adhere to. So, every day something changes and makes it a little bit better. Sometimes, very rarely does it get worse. I feel that all changes, like, start coming out, are somewhat beneficial to education, to treatment planning, whatever. But short bowel syndrome's come a long way in the last 40-some years. The way we do kernel nutrition today is much different than it was 10 years ago. So, there's little things that change throughout the years that make a big difference for today. With everything, like every condition in medicine, there's always going to be a change. There's always going to be a new development, a setback, or something that you're just going to have to go with the flow with. And short bowel syndrome is no different.
Yeah. Are there any research trials going on, or?
Not there. Yeah, there is, but I'm not quite sure which one is on at the moment.
Mm-hmm. See, as we come to an end of this conversation with Andrew, it's abundantly clear that the journey towards nutrition and equity and improved healthcare access is a complex but essential one. Andrew's personal experiences has dedication and advocacy through the Short Bowel Syndrome Foundation Incorporated has and the insights of a physician as a physician advisor shed light on the challenges and opportunities in the world with medical nutrition. The Medical Nutrition Equity Act represents a beacon of hope, potential transforming the lives of countless individuals who depend on specialized nutrition thrive. As Anna's story is a testament to the power of resilience and advocacy. We thank you we thank him for sharing his knowledge and experiences with us today. We hope this episode has sparked a greater understanding of the issue at hand, and encourage our listeners to join the conversation and support the efforts towards towards a more equitable and nutritionally sound healthcare system. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, comment on the YouTube channel. I'm at Rare Chef. It's Rare _ Chef. I also do cooking videos and demonstrations that you can there, and subscribe to my podcast wherever you get your podcasts. They normally go a lot better than this. Remember to change. Change begins with awareness, and it's through collective action that we can truly make a difference. We look forward to continuing the discussion and on nutrition equity through vital healthcare and in the future future episodes. Until then, stay tuned, stay engaged, and stay healthy. And thank you for joining. And thank you for tuning into Nutrition Equity.
Thank you.
Your turn.